Drug operators don't care that their product can ruin your life. They want your money and they want it as a repeat user. Once you're hooked, the price doesn't matter because you have to have it. If you're going to choose to become an addict, you are almost certainly going to commit crime to get the money to pay the drug lords. Not that you'll ever meet them, only their henchmen, the pushers in the dealer networks. To get their money, they won't hesitate to brutalize you to instill fear. While higher up the supply line, they'll kill to collect, or to make an example of someone whose deal has gone sour. The affluent lifestyle of the barons contrasts with the poverty to which the addict is reduced. You should also realize that there's a new danger emerging in the shift from growing weed to manufacturing pills. The recreational party-popping drugs. Now gangs are taking part in that shift and are starting to operate chemical labs for the manufacture of those more dangerous drugs distributed into the good time venues. The P drugs, the party drugs. You will finish up paying heaps to buy harm to yourself. So be warned. Stay away from the stuff. Be smart. There's nothing smart in becoming an addict. Any fool can become an addict. It's not smart to put your life in bondage to a substance. Everyone knows the sports field is about goal getting, but so's the classroom. There's sports success and learning success. At college, you're preparing for life beyond, out in the world, where you want to succeed in a good job, where you can work your way up to earning a good salary to support yourself and your family in a good standard of life. When you go out there and start being interviewed for jobs, your CV will need some records of successful activity and successful learning. A team player, individually motivated to succeed, who's learned well and got into a habit of learning that will go on throughout your life. Because when you come out of college, it isn't just with what you've learned at college, but you're supposed to have learned how to learn so that you can keep on learning as you progress through your life. School C now moves to the new standard of NCEA, the National Certificate in Educational Achievement. Hopefully, you've got your eyes set on achieving that goal. Let's have another look at rock climbing, with its physical challenge that has spiritual lessons about personal achievements.
Hi, I'm Ben Whitten. I'm 15 years old and I compete in under 16 male category around New Zealand in various competitions.
That's true, isn't it, about all challenges, that one of the things that holds some people back is they're afraid of taking on a challenge in case they can't make it.
Yeah.
And there's a sense of failure. So rather than go for a challenge and miss it, I think I'll avoid it. Yeah? Well, of course, climbing It doesn't let you do that, does it?
No, well, if you fail, then you just fall off if you give up. You can see in a lot of competitions where people, you can tell when they're at the edge of where they're going to get, it's as far as they're going to get, and they'll fall off eventually. And only certain people will pull down deep inside and just lunge for the next move anyway. Whereas a lot of people will lunge wildly, tap the hold for the points, and then fall off, and not try and hold it.
Ben, what do you find so challenging about climbing?
The three different types of climbing. You have bouldering, which is no ropes at all, and you climb no higher than a safe height. So any higher, you wouldn't go any higher than if you fell and injured yourself. So those are all technical climbs. And there's difficulty climbing, where it's just as hard as you can, not many people get to the top, and you're marked on how far you get. And speed climbing, where the climbs are very simple and it's just as fast as you can go.
Have you ever fallen off?
Oh yeah. The first time round I did rock climbing, which was about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I was falling off left, right and centre, and I made it up about 4 different walls, but there's one that's, sort of always gets you, and each week you sort of become more determined. It's like, I've got to get over this stupid wall.
But that's great, isn't it?
Yeah, there's about 2 or 3 ones that I've been trying to get, and I just still haven't got it, but oh well.
But you're not going to be beaten, eh?
No.
You're going to go back until you've got to the top of that challenge.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what we want to tell the young people, you see. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you've sort of not got to let one hindrance, one failure sort of stop you from achieving what you really, really want. And you sort of realise after doing it one way for so long, it's not going to work that way, so you've got to try a different way. And I think the whole thing of accomplishment sort of really comes from something that is taking you a while to get, and when you get to a stage where you know that it's just you and the wall, and you know that it's only you that can make yourself succeed. And that's where the true thing of accomplishment actually really comes into it.
Yes.
Where you've dug it so far that you can't dig anymore. Now when you get to the top, you sort of realise, I did it, I've got there, it's me. I did it.
Relationships just don't work without communication.
What do you expect? They say all these things you want to hear, and then when they get what they want, Granny comes around when he's drunk. What are you going to do? I want to keep it, but then I say, what have I got? So get rid of it. I'm not like that. You said yourself, what can you give it? It's a lie. What about your life?
Well, I always wanted like a proper house, and I'd have this man with me. He doesn't have to be perfect. He just has to make me feel like I want it. And he's not worried about
Honest, I just want to talk.
Go away, Bobby!
Please, just let me in. And if you want me to leave, I'll go.
Rolene's here too.
See, there's nothing to worry about. Why are you doing
What do
this?
you want?
I just wanted to see.
Well, now you have to go.
Suppose she's been putting ideas in your head.
Maybe she's got a mind of her own.
I wasn't talking to you.
Tell him to leave.
It's your house, is it?
Maybe she's had enough.
Is that right?
You're just using her like you used all the others.
What others?
You've been trying on me.
You don't know what you're on about.
Don't say, what about your cousin? That baby's yours.
No, it's not.
Get real. Is it true? He knows it's
So you'd rather believe her?
true. He knows it.
Shut your effing mouth. I know what this is about. It's you. You don't want me. Because there's someone else. She's making up all these stories. So you can have it off with him. You little bitch. I'll teach you.
Now, women and girls are better at communicating about themselves than men are. Boys often have the model of a strong, silent man who lives as if he has no inside to communicate. That's a macho man who doesn't develop close relationships. Because how can you get close to someone who doesn't talk about the person that they are? That doesn't let you know how they think and feel. You see, there's a head and a heart to communication. People find it easier to talk about what they think, sharing their ideas, than sharing how they feel. Males especially don't like to show someone else that they have a soft inside, that they feel hurts themselves, or have feelings for others, that they are caring persons. Somehow it doesn't fit with being strong and tough. But that's a confusion about the body and the self. In that confusion, the body's strength gets used in a violent and hurtful way that doesn't solve the issues of the spiritual self. Now, you're advised to choose relationships in which you can develop openness, communicative openness about yourself safely. No one wants to be betrayed by someone using what you have shared about yourself to turn around to hurt you with it. That's a failure of love, of holding what is entrusted to you by another person. A person who trusted your love, that it is kind and won't wound. Don't betray such a trust. Relationships that will become true partnerships are going to require head and heart communication. So tell your friends how you think and feel about them. Under the heading of mental health, our concern is with mind illness. Now, the first concern of health is to be healthy and to stay healthy. But if illness develops, then the concern shifts to understanding that illness so it can be dealt with, and so that there can be a return to health. Psychiatry is the special science that seeks to understand illness of mind and to address it in ways aimed at restoring health of mind. A basic definition of being ill is that one is in a state quite unfavorable to performing successfully in a variety of situations, or handling an experience in a right and well way. Now, how does a person, as a spiritual being, get into that state? Because there has to be a spiritual state in the person before it gets to being a state in their mind. Now, how does that state develop in the person? The simple answer is through an experience that leaves you with issues you feel bad about. The experience has damaged you in a way that you don't know how to heal from that damage. The healing process could be called how to resolve the experience so that you heal from the damage. Now, if it isn't resolved or healed, it will continue to act to reduce the health of the person. Because illness, after all, is a state of reduced health. This state of reduced health shows up in the ways that the person thinks. Illness has spread from the person into the mind. The state of mind is then unfavorable to the handling of relations with other persons. This unfavorable state is a negative and destructive one, made so by hardened resentments, desires for revenge and retaliation on account of being hurt, dwelling on imaginations of how such getting even by payback could be achieved, etc., which is the relational side of mind illness, the way the person thinks about others. But there's also the self side to mental illness, developed as the bad recognitions and feelings about oneself out of bad or failed experience. Now, such mental illness can result in harming others, and it can result in self-harm, in self-mutilation, and even suicide, which are examples of self-harm prompted by mental illness. There's a study in New Zealand of teenagers referred to SIPs for behavioral problems, which found that over 80% of them were already showing symptoms of mind illness, which means that they were persons with unresolved, damaged, or unhealed damage from their experiences. Now, that's got a solemn message about what happens to our Kiwi youth. Your best protection against mind illness is to be a positive, constructive person who loves and forgives, who is kind and caring, because that will make you a healthy person, safe from mind illness. As YOSHI puts it in the program, you need to watch all 4 strands of your full personal development, that you are a healthy person on all 4 counts. Your experience, your relationships, your value system, your selfhood. When you think about your future, you surely think about a successful future. But how are you going to make it successful? We have a culture of success that takes its references from wealth, ownership of material assets, and it presents an image of that success. What a successful person looks like. We get presented with models of success, how they dress, the things they do, the places they go, the kind of people with this image that they hang out with, how they socialize, the kind of car they drive. The glossy magazines photograph them, TV cameras record them, newspapers report them. We are continually presented with these images, these appearances of success. The look has a hairstyle. Maybe a shaven head is in fashion for a male, or spiky hair, colored, or worn long and pulled back close to the skull by being tied in a ponytail. Wearing glasses, blue tinted or dark, but with a fashion frame, or the steel-framed spectacles for a studious, intelligent look. The right clothes with a designer label bought from the right fashion shops. Being seen in the right places with a smart set of people. They're interviewed, we're told their stories, how they make their money, their relationships, what their attitudes are to alcohol, sex, drugs. Now here's the danger, the trap you can fall into. You want to adopt that look, that appearance, that image of success. That becomes the look you want to present. If you could have the things that add up to that look, you would be successful. That's what you think. So you start to chase that look, as much of it as you can afford. And then you begin to chase a success that will let you afford the full look, the complete image. But you shouldn't be operating on image for long-time success that supports true fulfillment. Because you're putting yourself in the hands of other people and what they think about you. But you need to be expressing an identity, which is that finding of yourself in an awareness of a self-meaning that sees you claiming the right to be yourself. To be who you are and to express that meaningful identity in your own creatively expressive way is a very fulfilling experience of success. It shifts the emphasis away from being dependent on the approval of others to being yourself, the self you truly are, doing what really fulfills you.